No, nah, nope. Oh yeah. Are you annoyed by the cable on your gaming headset? Sometimes the cable is positioned on either side of the ear cup, which makes placement of your PC annoying in your space. Many headsets also exhibit cable noise, as when it's brushing against your shirt, you can clearly hear that in your ear cups, which is annoying. Of course, cable management is a thing on how you can actually route it in your space. And some headphones even have the dual wire coming out of each ear cup, which is not that pleasant when you're trying to take them off, and it just becomes, you have to deal with the wire any way you slice it. Unless you've got a wireless pair that gives you that convenience of freedom of movement, not worrying about the cable around your body. You still have to position something around your computers for the wireless receiver for the headset. But how does the Arctis 7 play out in this whole wireless arena? Let's check it out right after this. Hi, I'm looking for a case. Well, look no further. I got this beauty. The H700i by NZXT. With all steel premium frame with a side of tempered glass to beautifully showcase any cooling adventure you might pursue, and cable management system that you wish you had earlier. All this lit up with integrated RGB lighting and built-in fan control. The H700i. This one's for you. Oh, I'll take it. Alright, so the Arctis 7 from a feature standpoint is one of the best wireless headsets around that is priced in line with the competition from Logitech and Razer, although the new Void Pro from Corsair is $50 cheaper, so if the lack of cable is a priority for you, that is an option. You can check out the full review right here. As expected, the entire Arctis family is diverse, from standard analog pairs to Bluetooth to USB RGB headsets, and it's a really nice surprise to not see RGB on this wireless pair to preserve battery life. The overall structure is fine, with plastic ear cups with pleasant rubber coating. The top headband is metal, unlike the plastic construction on all other Arctis pairs. The swivel joints are a little bit too loose for my taste, but notice there is no creaking, so that's awesome. The self-adjusting fabric is swappable and stretches a little bit, and it's a cool customization element, definitely more unique than RGB lighting. And the ear cup cushions are nice to the touch with a soft center, but I find them not thick enough to compensate for the convex plastic housing of the driver that I can feel with my ears. So the Arctis 7 is slightly heavier than the non-wireless Arctis 5 and Arctis 3 because there is a battery in here and other wireless components, but unfortunately Steelseries have not done any structural changes to accommodate for better comfort. I find this all-in-one fits all type of headband that stretches based on your head size. Not ideal because I'd say I have a medium-sized head with a lot of hair, so I'm already touching the bottom of that metal headband, which has very little padding. This will be an issue for people with larger heads because we do have width adjustment, which is fine, but not much height adjustment, and therefore, even though the clamping force is nicely balanced, for example, I can feel the top of the headband, but the headset is being sort of supported by the ear cups on each side. And because we cannot extend the headband, leaving the headset around your neck is uncomfortably tight. It's just better to take them off when not in use.
The microphone is retractable, that has less than usual flexibility, so it stays in one position every time you pull it out. It is always on unless muted with a switch at the back that you can easily find, and the red LED is easy to notice when it's muted. Don't believe all the marketing hype that you see, especially with Steelseries claiming this is the best microphone in gaming. So it's clear and it's detailed. It's got some nasally elements to it in terms of background compression. Right now I'm typing on an MX Blue keyboard, which is right below me, and you can still pick up those keystrokes, although they are muted. But in terms of comparing this microphone to other mics, it's clearer and it's not as nasally as the Void Pro wireless. And what you're hearing now is the Corsair Void Pro wireless, so this one is a bit quieter. It's not as detailed, it doesn't have as much of a lower end bass pickup, and I think this one sounds a bit more nasally. And what you listen to now is the Sennheiser Game 1, by far my favorite gaming headset microphone. It's rich, it's detailed, and you guys can compare to what it sounds like, wired versus wireless in this price range.
There are many controls on the headset, starting with the power button, then a dial for chat mix that lets you balance your voice comms or in-game volume with a tactile middle bump. The battery indicator is the blinking color of the power button or the 4-bar battery icon in the software, and I think just a simple percentage of the battery number would have been better. On the other side is the mic mute, a smooth volume dial from 0 to 100, a USB mini B 8-pin cable, and a 3.5mm input for audio sharing, and a micro USB for charging. charging. So this micro USB port is only for charging and firmware updates. It does not work without the wireless receiver, but you can plug in the USB Mini B 8-pin cable that ends with a 4-pole 3.5mm jack, so the headset can be used with mobile devices or a controller without the need to power it on. Now the wireless receiver is a bit different than usual. It's a compact hub with a white LED at the front. If solid, the connection is fine, and if blinking, the headset is either sleeping or disconnected. There's a pair button on the side, and on the back there's the line in and out, which is pretty cool because you can route your speakers into the hub and have it automatically switch between the headset if it's on or the speakers if the headset is off. And for the line in, you can connect whatever source that has a 3.5mm output into the hub that will then wirelessly transmit audio into your headset. So for example, if you want to play audio from your smartphone from the hub, or like Nintendo Switch that does not support USB audio, but you can route that analog signal into the hub that will then go here, or maybe from TV, so that you get that wireless convenience without having to actually connect the headset directly into your source. Now, I was actually quite surprised with the plug-and-play setup process. I already have the Engine 3 installed on my computer, and it recognized the headset immediately, but both the firmware and additional drivers had to be downloaded, which is automatic for it to work properly. Now, I normally never touch anything in the settings, but I do like to hear the mic side tone, so I put that on high, and some EQ adjustments are always nice for competitive gameplay. The dynamic range compression is unnecessary and just sounds horrible. If you want to hear everything on a uniform decibel level, just use the volume wheel to adjust your volume. And as far as the surround sound experience with DTS-X, as usual, it's quite bad. It expands the soundstage, but you lose directional cues that are otherwise audible in stereo, and many important audio elements are now muffled. So the only advantage with surround sound on is a slightly larger immersion of your audio environment, as with stereo, things are a bit closer to you and closed off in this headset. But the stereo mode is actually quite nice with lots of detail on the high end. I prefer a brighter sound signature for competitive gameplay because you pick up all the treble and all the little things that make you aware of your surroundings and where things are coming from. The mid-range is great, and the bass is weak, which I actually prefer for competitive gameplay. And the wireless signal is actually quite impressive. Not only in the range department, I got about 6 meters with a few walls in between without losing signal, but in terms of clarity and not hearing any distortions or any background hiss or noise and stuff like that, it's completely fine. Very good signal in the wireless department. So it's actually quite nice if you like to listen to music, podcast, or whatever else while being mobile around your house. As for battery life, it's nothing outstanding. Steelseries claims 24 hours of listening time. I got about 20 hours of continuous use before the red blinking LED start to go off. And the convenience of micro USB for charging is good because many mobile devices utilize micro USB. So charging this thing should not be an issue. I still wish that we have the percentage of battery left in the software so that you could be a little bit more clear on how much is left. And the headset does shut off by itself to preserve battery life when not in use. But unfortunately, I found that I have to power it on manually every morning after the computer has been shut down. And I wish that it would automatically get that connection through the hub when it's on and power on the headset as well, so that I don't have to manually do it every single morning. And so the Arctis 7 is fully loaded from a feature standpoint as far as wireless headsets go. This is not the best mic in gaming, but it's pretty fantastic with awesome stereo drivers. But I wish the headband structure was taller for extra comfort. I wish the dials at the back were not as loose, because anytime I put the headset on or off, I constantly switch something, either the volume or the chat mix. And I wish that the connection between the headset and the hub was a bit more automatic. Pick up the signal right away when the hub is on, so I don't have to do it manually all the time. Now, the main thing here is that wireless convenience, which is incredible, but this thing will not be replacing my Game 1 just yet. But if you are building this whole wireless set of gaming peripherals, then perhaps consider the Arctis 7. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and check out these other relevant videos here. I'm Dmitry. We'll see you in the next video.